Alright everybody, this is Monicah Kariuki and you're watching Silent Voices. Here with me is Millicent Nyangon. She is a mother, she is a wife, she is a businesswoman, and she is an evangelist. Millicent, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Monicah, for having me.
Please tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. Maybe I could have left something out.
Well, you kind of covered all of it.
I did.
But I'm an MC too.
Okay. Yes.
And of course, a public speaker. I'm a mentor. I think you covered everything.
So you do wear so many hats, and I have to tell you, they all fit so perfectly.
Thank you.
I've listened and I've watched you preach, and it's very captivating. And you're very funny. So, Millicent, tell us a little bit about your entrepreneur side, because you also do business. So tell us about that just a little bit.
So we have coffee. All the Organa wanted to do is to make sure we still drink our favorite drinks, but make it healthier.
Okay.
So we have black coffee, latte, mocha, we have red tea, green tea, and recently introduced a shake. It's called OGX, where it helps with weight management.
Okay.
Believe it or not, if you want to lose weight, you can use it, and if you want to gain weight, you can also use it.
Okay.
So basically that's what I do. I have teams in USA, I have some in Uganda and Kenya, and today they are actually launching South Africa. So it gives me an opportunity to do international business from the comfort of my home.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your ministry then.
Yes.
You travel a lot. Tell us about that.
Well, in 1991, I gave my life to the Lord.
Okay.
And I started from day one. The church that I used to go to had a department of evangelism. I'm a people person. I have to be in front of people. Everything I do has to be helping somebody's life, empowering somebody's life, bringing what I call understanding. So I joined the team. And was trained on evangelism. So we went to the various places. I'm originally from Kenya.
Okay.
So in 1991, I was in Kenya. So went to different parts of Kenya and saw, different people, understood the different problems people have and the hope that the Word of God brings. And so so from then to today, it just gives me a pleasure to be able to go and bring hope and tell people that there's hope, there's help, and just spread the good news of Jesus.
How much do you think you're impacting people's lives when you do your ministry?
When I go out there, maybe to a meeting or a conference, I'm really after one person. And if my being there can change one person,
Right.
I know that if I change one person, then I've changed a community, and I've changed a village, I've changed the whole network of the person. If we can bring understanding in whatever it is we're talking about. Right. Just in 2 weeks' time, I'll be going to Baltimore, and we're talking about finishing strong. So that can be applied in many different lives. So what I normally do is I go after one person, and I say if that one person can get it, then I know my work is done, because that person will benefit their family. So the impact, I believe, is wide, because then I have the word in social media, and that you can't even put a number to that. Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that you normally talk about most of the time that I've heard you say, actually a few minutes ago we were talking about how important is it for a woman, to be a woman, be who she is, walk in the room and stand out. Yes. Why is that so important, and why do you insist on that so much?
Oh, yes, I do insist, because one of the things, Monicah, I love being a woman. I'm not going to trade my being a woman for anything.
Right.
I mean, I believe that, God created man, but he went back and he said, wait a minute. I need to add something to this man. Right. So the frame of the man was there, but he added a whole lot of wonderful things and created this woman. I believe that a woman has a place in this world. Yeah. I believe that a woman is not a mistake to be born. We come from societies whereby the woman is not appreciated. And I'm wondering, why do do people take a whole lot of time trying to bring down a woman. And so when we grow up as women, we multitask. I mean, you can have a baby at the back and cook and on the phone at the same time, and your brain is still functioning in the right meter. So my belief is that a girl child is very strong and has a place on earth, a place in the front of the room, not at the back of the room, in front of the room. So my deal is going around and empowering that woman to be who God created them to be. And that starts by cleaning the mind, by how they look at themselves, how they think about themselves. So that is why you hear me a lot trying to change the mind of the woman, because most people grew up in a place they were never given a place in the front of the room because they're a woman. You're reminded you're a woman as though that is a problem. So it's for a woman to fulfill her calling and show her talent, she has to believe in herself. She has to renew her mind and say, I am here for a reason. I was not just an afterthought. I am the thought of God. And so my job, having grown up in a family that allowed me as a girl child to voice my thoughts, to be able to sit in front of the room with my cousins, with my brothers, and realize not every woman had that, I make it my business to empower that woman by changing the way she thinks about herself before she changes her environment.
Absolutely. Okay. That's very important, because I think society already demeans a woman and reduces a woman to almost nothing. Exactly. And I think as women, we do it the same for ourselves as well. So thank you for that.
And that's unfortunate, because then a wounded woman wounds the other woman. So if we can get every woman healed and understand that I don't have to fight another woman for me to be in the front of the room, I can hold my fellow sister's hand and say, hey, we can all be in the front of the room because you have one talent, I have another talent, and we can bring it and make a change in our environment, in our zip code, in our society, in our village. So I feel that by doing that, by empowering the woman, then the woman is able to look at another woman and say, hey, you have this talent, I need you in front. I'm going to make a platform. I have this platform. I want you to come on that platform so that you can be able to share your gift with others. Okay.
All right. I want to get into something else. You have allowed us to get into your business. And so I don't know when you were diagnosed with lupus. I actually didn't know you had lupus. I happened to see your Facebook page and I saw a picture of when you had the flares. I think it was 2016. So just tell us when you were diagnosed, and actually just tell our viewers what is lupus, because not everybody knows.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be able to share, because I've realized in the last 2 years I have met so many people who are diagnosed with lupus. Well, for me, first of all, lupus is an autoimmune disease. I mean, your body is literally fighting you. You know, your white cells are just, going haywire in a nutshell, not getting into the scientific part of it. What is supposed to be healing you is actually fighting you. And that's crazy. Just to imagine that your body has this system that takes care of itself, and all of a sudden it just goes haywire and starts fighting you. So first of all, going back to 2016, I had just completed, I was an MC in a glamorous event, and it was all glam, all nice, and that was in March 2016. I had just graduated in 2015. I was ready for life. I was like, Mom is ready to go. So we do this event, and they take pictures, and I noticed when I looked at my picture, something was not right. It was like, I couldn't tell what it is, but just the way my body it was, something wasn't right. And I didn't think anything about it. So come April, I had a rash on my nose, and I didn't know what it was, just itching. And the marks are still there, on my nose. But I was scheduled to go for my yearly checkup. So I was this woman who never took Tylenol, Didn't even need to take Tylenol.
Right.
If I had a headache, I knew I needed water. I never swallowed medicine, didn't want medicine. I used to jog, park my car far when I'm going to the grocery store, run to the grocery store. I was taking care of myself. My first profession was catering and hotel. So I'm a food person. I take care of food. I used to take garlic, you name it, all the herbs that I need to swallow, I was swallowing. So I come from this person who does that, very energetic. And when I go to my checkup and went with my husband, so the only time I saw a doctor was for my yearly checkup.
Right.
And she takes my blood work and she says, okay, come back 2 weeks, I give you the results. But I said, by the way, I have an itch on my nose. She said, it's allergy season. Go get Claritin. And for me, I never had allergy all my life. So believe it, Monica, I didn't even know where Claritin is. Where do I get which shelf? I know the makeup shelf. I know, the food shelf. But I don't go to that aisle where people go get the allergy medicine. So I said, where do I go to get this Claritin? She said, go to Walgreens, CVS. And I go to Walgreens. And believe me, I'm looking and I'm thinking, there are so many of them. Which one am I supposed to? So I go to the pharmacist and say, hey, I'm told I need to take Claritin. So which one? So he comes and he tells me, maybe this one or this one. No, just hey, dude, give me one. Okay? Yeah. So he gives me. And she said, just take it for 3 days. That's it. I say, oh my goodness, doctor, how is it that now I have allergies? I've never had allergies. Yeah. She said, as we age, all that, things change. Yeah. I say, okay. So I take my Claritin. When I go back 2 weeks later, the rash has moved from my nose and it's on my eyebrows. Wow. So my nose and eyebrows. She looked at me, took one look at me and told me, she was thinking aloud. She said, the rash has made a butterfly on your face. Those who are in medical profession understand that that's the indicator that you have an autoimmune disease. So she asked me, have you ever done an A&A test, the autoimmune test? I said, what is that? And do I need to do it? Right. She said, yes, let's do it because I need to figure out what's really going on. She didn't want to alarm me. Yeah. And she did, and it was positive. Oh, wow. So that meant I have an autoimmune disease. Now, remember, I was a healthy person. I don't know what autoimmune is. And she said, you need a rheumatologist. I said, where do you find them? Because frankly speaking, I never had to see any specialist doctor. I just need to see primary doctor and I'm done. So I said, how do I go about seeing a rheumatologist? Where will I find one? Do you have one in this premises? She said, no, we have to look for one. And that's a whole nother gamble. And then we have to find out if they take your insurance and all that stuff. I said, well, get me one faster. And she did get one, but unfortunately, they took my insurance, but apparently rheumatologists are very rare. And so this particular one had a wait period of about 2 to 3 weeks before they can even get me in the door. And meantime, by the time I went back for the results, all my hair.
How long was that time between?
Just a week. The thing was running faster than I can think. So the 2 weeks I had that, and the most scary part of it is that my hair
started falling.
Not even started falling, was all coming out. I had a weave on, and as I was trying to remove the weave, I would hold the weave, and the hair and the weave come off, leaving my scalp kind of like it can get infected. And the whole thing, I took pictures. The whole thing was falling down. And I thought, what do I have here? What's going on with me? And so by the time I went back and got those results, and she gave me antibiotics just to make sure I'm not getting infected on my head. And 1 week later, I couldn't wait. I had all this flare up on my face. And that's the one, you got to see on the pictures you saw on my Facebook page. And they're saying, we're still finding out. And I'm like, you're the specialist here. I was seeing every single specialist that they have on the ground. And so the rheumatologist was telling me, thank you for your patience. And I was just looking at him and saying, why would I not be patient? Look at how I look. Where am I going to go looking like this? And so they found out, and when they finally find out, and they told me it is systemic lupus. Now comes the questions. I said, how did I get it? Because I thought, oh, it's like malaria, mosquito bite you or something.
Right.
Then they told me, we don't know how it comes.
Wow.
So how do we cure it? It has no cure. Oh my goodness.
Tell me
For
about
that split moment, I was thinking, why? And then I realized if you ask why me, you never get an answer for that. Being the person that I am in spiritual belief, I looked at the doctor and told him, in all the books you have read, there's no cure for this thing. He said, no. So I said, so what are you planning to do? He said, we just give you medicine to make your life easy. So for me, my tears were coming out because I'm thinking, I don't want just my life to be made easy. I want to live.
Right.
I want to do the things that I had in my plan, in my mind to do. So they're going to start giving me medicine. I don't take medicine. I am not even the person who takes Tylenol. No. But my body was going to be bombarded with all these medicines. But even when they're giving me the medicine, there's no cure.
Right.
So what happens to my hope? I look at my husband. I look at my children. My son hadn't even graduated high school. The baby girl, Sifa, was still growing. I wanted to be there for her. She's a girl.
Right.
She needs mommy so that we can talk girl stuff. I want to see Joshua graduate. And when I look at my husband, he didn't know what is going to... You know how hard it is when the person who is your partner, who you have said will do this until death do us part, and death is coming faster than you planned. And I could look at him and there's nothing he could do. Money can't help here.
Right.
Nothing except the faith. And I looked at the doctors, and the doctors were looking at me. I could tell.
Were you by yourself, or was your husband with you?
He used to always be with me, but then during the day he has to go to work. Oh, by the way, I couldn't open a water bottle.
Wow.
My muscle strength went so fast, Monicah, I could not open the day I tried to open a water bottle and I was struggling, I knew this is no joke. This thing has come to really finish me. And then a friend of mine came to pick me up so that we can go for a meeting that I was the speaker. And I couldn't open her door. She had an SUV, and the door, I could not open that door. She had to be the one to push the door for me.
Wow.
So what's going on in my head is that has the end come? And it's when now I was admitted and I'm in the room by myself, all I could do is pray because the doctors had no answer.
Right.
Nobody knows what to do. And the medicine they want to give me, they say, we're going to try giving you this medicine. If it reacts, I don't like hearing. If it reacts, what if it reacts and it gets worse? So they sent me home after 3 days of blood work and x-rays and all manners. And they tell me this lupus comes to lock every organ in your body, including your brain. Including the brain. Now, if the brain is going to be affected, what am I going to have?
Right.
They had to look at my lungs, they look at my heart, they look at my respiratory system, my reproductive system. It was locking everything. The whole system stopped functioning. All the female functions went, reproduction system locked. I was just left like a shell, nothing was functioning. I couldn't talk and think at the same time. I had to stop, think, and then talk. Now you know that's not me.
Yeah.
And I had to. My husband was told by the doctor that they have to give me time to talk. And I had to think and think again before I can say what I want to think. And I would sit on on the chair and think, I was born to speak. I'm a public speaker. I'm a mentor. I speak for a living. So lupus has come to take away my livelihood. And that's when I began to fight. I began to fight in prayer. I began to change what I've heard in my head, that there's no cure. I began to reach out to the power that says, I'm healed. I began to fill my subconscious mind with positive outlook, because I know the power of the subconscious mind. So I began to take the word of God, and I started saying, I will not die. I refuse to die.
Right.
I will live. And so seeing myself doing the things that I wanted to do, I say, I'm not going to, lupus, you're not going to take the bed of me. I had to start speaking to my subconscious mind. I had to start telling myself what I want to see happen. And there's a power in that. And then I learned I'm not a victim. I'm a conqueror. And this too shall pass. And I just have to conquer it. I'm going to work with the doctors. I'm going to work with every single program they put in place. But I'm going to work with my subconscious mind. I'm going to tell myself what will happen, and we're going to believe that. So it was a very scary moment, and for 2 years I shut myself out. I was not on social media. I was nowhere, because I needed to heal myself. I needed to take the right food. I needed to get the right state of mind. I needed to be in a place that my body can now heal itself, because there wasn't going to be anything to heal it. But when they gave me the medicines and came back home, the medicines were also doing their own number on me, you know, the steroids. And I had like a bunch of more than 5 medications I needed to take. So my body reacted to that, you know, because it was like, whoa, what's going on? We don't take Tylenol. Here we are, you know. And I had to speak to my life. I had to speak to my life, Monicah. I had to speak to myself. I had to talk to myself. And I had to tell myself, Millicent, this too shall pass. We're going to make it. We will make it. I was more like a crazy person. Yeah. But I had to do that. I had to believe in a better tomorrow. So I took the medicines. They weaned me off of some. And I couldn't leave my bedroom. Now, at this point, it had advanced so much that I couldn't, the lights, like the lights we have now for production, it would mess my eyes. Even the fluorescent lights would mess my eyes. So I had to stay in a dark place, in a darkened room. So I was always in my bedroom. Everything was done in the bedroom. My family would come to the bedroom and had dark curtains so that I'm in darkness. So it's a devastating disease, and lupus has different forms of it, and different people react to it differently. More so, it depends on how fast it's diagnosed. So many people, even back home where I come from, they go for kidney transplant in India and all that, and then just to find out they actually have lupus. So they have been treating one organ while lupus is going after the other organs. So it was important for the doctor to find out which lupus and which medication and what dose of the medications, you know, they need to take. I have a friend who had lupus, but she got a dose that was not working with her, and it messed up. It just messed her up. So it's a really devastating situation. Yeah, but you know, it's been 2 years now, and now I'm strong. I had lost weight from 160 to 124. I was weighing less than my 15-year-old. Yeah. That's not pretty.
How did you tell your children I'm not sure how old your daughter was. You know, your son was definitely, you know, old enough to understand, you know, that there's something wrong. We always talk to our kids so that they can be in the know, so that they can, you know, they can be part of the conversation, so that they can be part of the decision making in their home, because we don't want them to just see things going on and they're wondering what is going on. So obviously you did talk to your children and tell them about your diagnosis. How did they take that?
I was like, it's better to tell them that, oh, I'm going to take this medicine and I'll be fine.
Right.
But my kids, I had to sit down with them and tell them it's lupus. And you know, they Google.
Yeah.
And we were sitting and my daughter said, it has no cure.
Right.
Right then. She had gone Google. And I told her, they say it doesn't have a cure. And my son was, the two of them were devastated that this mother of theirs who goes for every game, you know, is always active, and now she is having this disease that has no cure. But I told them, there's no cure, but we're going to walk this journey and we're going to conquer. Yeah, we're going to conquer. And I said, you know, people have different diseases out here. People suffer from worse things too. There are people who, for example, the soldiers, they go out there, they fight for us, for our freedom, and some of them never come back. And some of them come back without a limp. Some of them can't walk when they come back. So I told them, this is something we as a family, we're just going to work with it. We're going to do everything, even while it's there. It's not going to stop us from doing anything. We're not going to allow it to make us victims. So we're still going to go for the movies. We're going to go eat out. We're going to dance. We're going to do all the things we do. I might have to take a breather after 5 minutes because my energy was very low. But that doesn't mean we can dance for 2 minutes, you know. And I told them, when I get enough strength, Mommy's still going to go out there. She's going to empower women. She's going to speak. I told them, if I have to do it sitting down, it's fine. We're going to work with this. Whether it's it with us, if it's here, it's not going to win. It's not going to dictate. We are going to conquer this. Okay? So they had hope. And for me, I needed them to have hope because the diagnosis was hopeless. It was a situation where we were hopeless. We are now victims to lupus. We are now, whatever lupus want to do, lupus going to do. That's the kind of information that was out there. And I told them, no, it's not going to be that. I will live. And as I said, it's the power of the mind. It's the power of what are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your mind? I was determined that if I had to go, I'm going to do everything in my power to do what I was born to do. And so I had to work on my children's mind and my mind and my husband, and we all said, we will do this, you know? And so one time I told them, well, I'm from Kenya, and your dad is from Kenya. We have an accent, and we have to work around the accent. Well, it's not lupus, but it is a thing, you know? I open up my mouth, and the first thing is that, where are you from? Because that accent is not going anywhere. It's just there. So am I going to be, you know, annoyed that I have an accent and everybody else in America seems not to understand what I'm saying? Or am I going to work with it? It's going to be part of me, my identity, my exceptionality, okay? So that's what I told them. We always have something or another. And this is just one of those things. So it took a while because they were devastated. My son was so devastated coming back from college and seeing me look like I was completely gone. He always tells people he could not believe this mother of his, who's always up and go, had to depend on him to bring her water and to open the bottle. Yeah, but you know what? Here we are, 2 years later.
So what has been your source of strength and hope for I have to get up the next day, and what is your hope and source of strength? Is it your family? Is it?
Yes, it is. Part of it is my family, and part of it is because I believe I'm not done. I just believe that the reason why I was born is not over. Like there's one more person if it comes to my going out and ministering, or my going out and teaching people how to do business, or my going out and mentoring somebody. I had somebody I was mentoring while I'm on bed. And the person never knew how bad I looked because I locked myself in, and I had a few friends that would come, just a few people. And she called me with a situation going on, and I never told her.
You never said you were sick?
I said, I'm not feeling well. Lupus is something you tell people you have lupus. They don't know. People don't know lupus. Well, they don't know. It's very rare. So nobody knows whether your eyes are swollen or you. It's not like you tell somebody you have malaria and they know you have fever. And they know the deal. Yeah. Okay. But when you tell somebody, okay, I have lupus. So that, what is that? Yeah. Their brain can't comprehend. So I was telling her, I'm not feeling well. I really can't meet you, but we can do something on the phone. And so we did stuff with her. And these are the kind of things that made me wake up in the morning and keep me going. I involved my life in doing what I always do, to the level that I could.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't go out into platforms and speak, but surely I can be there to help my fellow sister, be an ear to just hear. My ears were now better. I was hearing, and my mind came back, and everything was working from here up. So all I needed to do is just be there. And so I had people that I needed to mentor. My family was number one. I needed to see my son graduate and go to college. I needed to see my daughter graduate and go to high school and beyond. I wanted to be there to explain to them a few things. I had reasons to leave. I wanted to see my husband, what we have together, for me to, for us to achieve that, I just lost my father in 2015, buried him in December, and I wasn't about to leave my mother. I wanted to be there for my mom as she walks through the journey of being a widow, after 50 years of being with this one man. And I said, I can't go. So even when I couldn't wake up, because for a long time waking up in the morning was an ordeal, and sometimes is, even now, sometimes I get tired. And I couldn't put one leg in front of another because I had to lift my leg up and put it down. The pain, excruciating pain in my limbs was just crazy. And the inflammation, I couldn't even wear my wedding ring for a long time because my fingers were swollen. But despite what I saw and felt, remember, it's in the mind. I had to tell my mom, we gotta get up. We got to get up. Somebody somewhere needs us to get up.